Hello there, I'm Kirk.
And I'm Ali.
And we made the shot on iPhone short film Unsaved.
And this is how we did it.
AD, welcome to my home.
Hello there. Hello. This is kind of the look that we're going for.
This is my setup.
Fix it in post.
So today we're going to go through the three main sections that really consisted towards making this short film happen. It was the pre-production stage, the production stage, and obviously post-production.
The idea started, I think, with a vision of...
Yeah, we wanted to put someone in the forest. Yeah. And we wanted someone working in a forest, but we didn't exactly know what was going to happen. But then I think I tossed the idea about that this person's teleported from an office to a forest sequence.
And then I think you raised the question, well, does she know she's in the forest? And then you went, what if it's a simulation?
That was pretty much pre-production, I guess you could call it.
Yeah. Well, then we had to actually find everything.
Yes, that is true. These are all objects that you found in your house.
Yeah.
Or in
we actually
storage
also
and
went
things.
on the day on the drive to where we were going to shoot. We actually stopped at the side of the road at a couple of hard waste spots.
Oh, did you actually?
Yeah, did you remember I sent you pictures of desk chairs? And I was like, what do you think of this desk chair?
Oh, like stuff where people have thrown out and things. Yeah, right.
So we were looking everywhere, all over Melbourne. We were very lucky that we found the CRT screen and the old keyboard gear, luckily.
Long story short, it's just like find what you have and then you'll be able to put something together. You don't need, not everything needs to be perfect in order to make a short. So we all ran around Melbourne, got the lamp, mug, desk, and then went out to some national park forest, plonked a desk in the middle of
the forest.
In the middle of the forest and just started shooting.
And we had 2 hours, but we got so lucky because the lighting was perfect.
There was nice cloud cover and everything, so you had this really nice diffused light. We didn't need to bring any lighting gear at all, not even for the computer or anything like that. It was just really nice and soft. And it goes to show that like when you have good lighting conditions outside, things can work really well. But if you've got really harsh light or if it's too dark, then it can look terrible. But it honestly looked like we had like massive like diffusion cloth over the top of it.
It was crazy. We got so lucky.
One of the biggest things and one of the massive advantages that we had going into this short is that we knew that we wanted to shoot on the phone because again, we didn't have much time. It was the night before that we wanted to shoot something, going into shooting something the next day. And the iPhone makes that like really possible because it's so small and tiny and just attaching little lenses onto the front of it makes it like so easy just to set up shots. Like you might have a shot idea, we can just put it up in like a minute and then we might want to change another one and then set it up and put it up in a higher place. It's so simple.
Yeah, it also helped for those more finicky shots of the keyboards or the eyes where we could just get the camera exactly where we needed it to be. Everything
was shot on the same lens attached to the main camera on the iPhone with the 58mm Sandmark telephoto lens. Only one shot was the ultra-wide lens just from the iPhone itself, which was in the forest. I think when we were like shooting the actual forest scenes, we didn't even have like a storyboard or any idea of what shots we wanted to get.
No.
So we kind of just covered our bases, ensured that we filmed the computer screen, we filmed her from a couple different angles. And I think I had like a rough idea that I wanted the final shot of her realizing she's in the forest to be up really wide, which is like just attach the phone onto a magic arm and then like we put it up on like a lighting stand. It was so easy to get a shot like that. So we only had like 90 minutes to shoot, or not even like an hour or something.
Yeah, I don't think we
to get it all done. And then we shot that. So that was pretty much the forest scene. And once we did that, we knew kind of what we had to do in the office. So now looking at some of the office sequences that we shot, this was like the most amount of footage or like the biggest scene, obviously. We really just wanted to, at least I call them like different like highlight points in what we wanted to film. Like we wanted her working, we wanted certain things to happen on the desk.
I think one of the hardest things, and you don't know this until the edit, is even what's happening on the computer screen. So we didn't really have a narrative at this point still, but it was easy to just film them as placeholders.
One of the biggest things that people were asking us about in the office sequence is how exactly we did each of like the very small kind of tricks, but like it adds the overall atmosphere. So that includes the mug moving,
the flower changing, there was one other, the lamp changing, but we won't share those secrets.
Well, we discussed this. We have to share the secrets.
Okay, fine. We'll share the secrets.
Share them. For example, with the mug changing, like some people thought we did magnets and things like that.
I saw that comment. It wasn't magnets. Yeah. It was actually fishing wire, believe it or not. So you'd think, so the mug moved from there to here, and you'd think we were pulling it this way. Actually, I was standing off camera over that way to the left of your screen now, and we had it looped around, so it was being dragged the other way backwards.
It's really simple. Like, we tried it on the trolley problem short. Like, that's how we got the trolley moving. It's how we also got the drink
Yeah, the
on top
smoothie.
of the car roof. You just attach like fishing wire to everything.
Was it hard to get rid of in post?
This one was a little bit difficult just because you had like a little bit of stuff in there, but it's a really thin fishing wire, so it's like pretty easy to do. That was pretty much it. And like with the rest of the stuff, like the lamp changing and the flowers changing, that was purely just match cutting.
Yep.
And then doing a little bit of cropping in post.
Yep.
And finally the mug like disappearing. It was literally a case of like
and we
slam
just,
and then take it away and then
just on repeat,
put your hand
getting
down.
a lot of takes. And so the benefit of getting a lot of takes is then obviously in the edit, we were able to match up, okay, what's the best take that looks the most similar from when she was here to when it was here.
And that's pretty much it. In terms of lighting, we had a pretty simple lighting setup as well. Like, we just had one 200x and one 100D pointed to the room, and everything else
Kind of the same as what we've got now.
literally the same. Like, we did it really simply. No backlight, nothing too crazy. So the third and final scene that we shot was the bedroom sequence, and that was equally like a really quick setup time, but also like the most complex out of the 3 locations that we did. We had 4 of us on set plus the talent, Zach, who was our man behind the computer. The production design of doing that scene was like probably the highlight of this whole film.
We haven't done anything like that before to that level, so it was really fun to decorate a set and really try and get into the nostalgic feel of a 90s bedroom. So to show that off in the insert shots was fun.
So we're on the final scene set of our iPhone short film, our second iPhone short film, Unsaved. And this is kind of the look that we're going for. It's like a 90s bedroom / retro gaming setup. We've got the centerpiece of it, got an iMac G3 in the famous Bondi blue, which is looking really, really good. We've got all these amazing like magazines and CDs and all these different things that someone might have in the 90s. Over here we've got a few different posters, including the poster for the video game that our friend is playing here.
AD, welcome to my home. Alright, so this is the living room inspired by French Impressionism of the 1980s. You can see there's a lot of mid-century vibes going on here. The fireplace is very rustic. Yeah, I've been here about a couple hours now. Got in this morning. Yeah, look. Hey, I don't really have a lot to show you. It's a very small home out here in Merricks. We're right down the road by the beach. My Uber driver was actually very confused. He was like, why is it called Merricks Beach when we're on a dirt road and there's no water to be seen? I said, fair enough, man. Look, thanks for stopping by, AD. See you around when I'm looking at you.
Peace. For our phone setup, we have an iPhone 16 Pro. I'm using a Sandmark lens on the front of it. We'll probably attach an ND filter as well, just to kind of like, you know, be able to adjust exposure and everything. Now on this little jerry-rig of a setup that we have here as well, I've got an iPad hooked up to a small rig battery, which is just being mounted by a small rig magic arm. And what I've got going is a wireless feed of the iPhone using the Blackmagic camera app. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but essentially we're getting a live feed of the iPhone so we can actually see and monitor everything. So yes, this is what the space is looking like. Hopefully it looks good on camera.
Very cool properties.
What are you thinking of it, Ali, so far?
I'm very proud. I think it's looking great. I think it's going to look really cool with the smoke and the haze.
Yes.
Really bring it together.
We'll go have a look at the lighting setup out here. So come follow me. So this is the outside of our set. Sets in there. We've got pretty much the only setup that we have going is two 720Bs, which we only probably needed one because they're both operating at like 30%, at like 2700K. So this is acting as like our sunlight that's going to be streaming in. I think it's going to look really good when we actually set up the actual haze and everything, so it'll look like light streaking through. But in the meantime, don't try and ignore this little leaning C-stand. I think this is breaking like 1,000 different like safety rules, but what can you do? No one's gonna be out here, and it's mostly stable. So yeah, mostly stable. So yeah, we've got a big morning ahead of us. We've literally only got like 3 hours to shoot all this, so we better get shooting. Actually, I'll show you the haze machine now. That's what we need to see. One of the big things that we need to do to kind of spice up our cinematography game here is add a bit of haze in here, and that will just really like accentuate all of the light streaks coming in and make this whole area look nostalgic and stuff. So We've got a couple of Smoke Ninja Pros from PMI. The 2 handheld machines, they've got lots of different modes and everything, but pretty much they'll do exactly what you expect them to do, but they're handheld. So you've got this smoke, or the haze coming out of here, and this one's coming out of here. And these two should be plenty for what we need. And I think the hang time is like 10 minutes or something. It might be more than that. Yeah, we'll be able to get plenty kind of going on here. Again, the trick is not too much, but enough to make it noticeable.
How do you feel? Feel pretty good. How do you feel?
Feeling great.
Yeah?
Can we call that a wrap?
We'll call it a wrap. Call it a burrito if you want.
What we wanted to do originally, and to keep it simple, was that we were just going to have the wide shot of the forest, and then it was going to cut straight to the bedroom scene, like an insert shot. But our VFX artist, Van, and this kind of takes us into post-production now, Van pitched us this idea where we would do the whole thing in one shot, where we essentially go from the forest sequence and make it look like it's just one continuous camera movement into and out of the screen, revealing this bedroom environment and revealing that someone is actually playing the game, I guess.
Which we didn't think would be possible. So it was, I think that's the benefit of it, like getting other creatives in early. So speaking to Van as early as possible when we knew we had the office, the forest done, and we just wanted to get some advice on how to do the bedroom sequence. That was the perfect time to speak to him because he showed us something that we didn't even think was possible.
Van did an incredible job. We gave him a bit of a brief, which is different office UI and components that we wanted on the screens and everything like that, and not office UI but like computer UI, and then we had an idea of the kind of gaming UI that we wanted.
I think it wasn't really until the edit that I think we started to go, okay, this is what the story might look like on the screen, and so we actually had some sort of prototype text in the first few versions of the edit, and then we were able to sort of just elaborate on that more when Van came in and was able to create this narrative for us.
Let's talk about the editing part of it, because you edited the short, and I wanted to get your thoughts of how you approached it and what was in your head when actually putting the whole thing together.
Yeah, I think as we didn't have storyboards, we actually had a lot of creativity, but we were limited by obviously the sequence of events that happened for continuity. So there was enough structure there that I knew we had to get this scene done and that scene done and that happened in time, but we had a bit of creativity because we really didn't have a starter and end. So we could play with it as much as we want. So I think I went a little bit crazy in the first cut and I added a bunch of severance-like quick, snappy glitches and transitions. And one of the things we talked about earlier was, well, what's the story? Is she glitching or is the world glitching? Like, what's actually happening here? So setting that story, I realized pretty quickly was important, the most important part of the edit, really.
And I think in the end, what we really wanted to do and what we decided with the edit was that we wanted it to kind of like ramp up and then go silent again and kind of ramp up again. But each level of like ramping up, I guess it gets a little bit like it's like the tone keeps increasing up and then crashes and
in
then
my
all
head,
to big build up.
I see it as these little like peaks. So you start with the flower, then you go to the mug, then you go to the computer, and then mug.
Yeah.
I did it all around, but
something like that.
Yeah.
It was all like obviously shot on the phone. We captured it with the Blackmagic camera app as well. We also edited it in DaVinci Resolve and then color graded it in that. And because you and I both work in DaVinci Resolve, it makes it so easy just to transfer files. And now we've had a few projects since where we use Blackmagic Cloud. Like
great software.
If you're working with people like remotely or even like friends and stuff, and you don't want to all like transfer DRP files or XML files or whatever the nonsense is, like it makes it super easy just to sync and do that. It's like Google Docs, but for like editing. So that made that process really easy. Paul, our incredible sound designer, as well as creating the music for this short, he did everything from scratch. So everything that you're hearing from like the mug moving, the telephone ringing, keyboard, like the movements, like he did a lot of it by hand. Like he actually did the Foley himself, but a lot of it he also did like, there's no, like nothing recorded. I don't know if he ate maybe he did eat the chips. I'll have to ask him if he ate the chips. But yeah, like he did everything pretty much from scratch. The last couple components of post-production, and I'll make like a whole other video on this, is the color grading component. Really the foundation of it was shooting an Apple log on the phone, but I was able to put that in Resolve, like throw my color conversion LUT on there and then just start from there. What I really wanted to do was separate the reds and the warm colors of our protagonist's like outfit, and contrast that against and split tone that against the background of the office and the forest. The other main thing that we did as well in the forest was like adding a bit of a radial blur with separating her with a magic mask just to add to the weirdness of that scene. And then finally in the bedroom sequences, that was like a completely different thing. Like we wanted to make it really warm and cozy, Jupi, but we didn't want to just add like an orange filter over the top of it. And that is pretty much it. I don't think I have anything else to say.
What's your biggest takeaway or learning from this?
Grab a few friends together and just go out and shoot. Don't hesitate at all. Like, if you don't have an idea, that's probably even better. Just don't bother about storyboarding and like, obviously some shorts, it's good to have as much planning as possible.
I think similar to what you said, but constraint can fuel creativity. So I think in this case, knowing we had these limits and having, we only could shoot that weekend and we had a couple of ideas, but it actually allowed us to be so creative in what we could put together. So I think, that was a good learning.
Absolutely, just being naive.
Being completely naive.
Being completely naive is the way to go.
Make it till you make it.
And on that note, thank you so much for watching our behind the scenes.
If you do have any questions, please send them through to us. We're so happy to answer and we're keen to see all of your short films.
Until next time, stay safe and of course, go out and make more short films and do take care.